Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I am Winston Chester, and I am so glad you're here this morning, wrapping up a good week on the show and a good week of weather and getting ready for a great weekend in the outdoors. All kind of cool things going on. But first, let's look at today's weather brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard, and the hard-working crew up there in Southport. Looking at a warm day today, 88, low 72. Nice weather. We're looking at the water temperature still at 83.5 at the end of the pier. We're right on the edge of it dropping. I look every day for it just start dropping a little bit. It sort of tricked me early part of the week when it went down to 80, 82, 81, but when it gets down, especially around 78, for you new folks that moved in, 78 is a really cool temperature, literally, for the fish to start moving. All right, let's look at our riverine brought to us by Mountain Dew. On the outdoors with Mountain Dew. Apalachicola, Bluntstown, 7.9, leveling it off pretty nice. The Chattahoochee at Caryville, 5.7, and it's in good shape. I've said it all week. Every morning this week I've said it on the show. The river's going to be in good shape this weekend. There'll be a lot of folks on them. It's going to be pretty. The leaves going to start changing a little bit. It's going to be nice. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Good day of tides. We're looking at the high tide this morning at 5:20 and dropping out all day at about 4:36 this afternoon, just like yesterday's tide, just dropping out. We got good tides tomorrow, and it's just going to be, now next week we got some neat tides, but a week after, go ahead and put it on your calendar. The middle part of October, just take off work and just fish every day in the middle part of October. That's what Jeff and I are going to try to do. All right, wind's going to be coming at east-southeast about 8. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's look at some cool pictures. Really cool ones today. I've got one special one we're going to show you. They're all special, but some just sort of jump out at you and mean a lot to you personally. But the first one, let's take a look at this. This email sent to me with a nice picture. G.G. Hunts Chipley up at the top of the page. Hey, Winston, with all the fresh water, it gives the fish an amber color. Very pretty. This is North Bay action. 4 reds from 17 inches to 21 inches on jerk baits plus short trout and ladyfish. Lots of fun. And check it out. Is that not a nice looking, beautiful redfish right there? That fall redfish here in the San Andrew Bay system, West Bay, North Bay, East Bay, they all have them. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That's a framer right there, seriously. Bob's got some bears working with him. He's teaching them how to climb the pole. And we're going to, this is that time of year. Y'all send your bear pictures because people get a kick out of them. And that bear knows there's food up there. And it's obvious they're going to try to get it. Okay, we had this on the show yesterday. Just a quick reminder, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, the fundraiser to put the mandolins in the classroom and singing all kind of good outdoor songs around the campfire. Okay, I thought this was funny. Brad Hawthorne. This is called a snackle box. It's not a tackle box, but you can take your tackle box and put snacks in it. It is a snackle box. Very creative. Thank you, Brad Hawthorne. Okay, check this out. This is a special one too. Our grandson-in-law and great-grandson on his first dove hunt, Cole and Waylon Barfield. This is sent from Denver and Annette Dolphin. And also he kisses goodbye to all the catch and release fish. Now, is that not precious? Goodbye. I'll see you next time I hook you, okay? Thank you, Annette, for sending that. Good job. This memory just popped up yesterday. This is where it should be this morning. This is 4 years ago, catching those blackfin tuna over there in Venice, Louisiana. That was a fun trip, and it was good tuna. This is interesting. I want to, someone says, hey, why are wetlands important? Because most people think you just want to fill them in and put houses. So I'm going to start one at a time. This is a normal river, okay? So it rains and the river floods. Now, is this not testimonial to what we've been through all summer long? The river sort of come out of the bank and then the river sort of goes back down. Okay, that's normal because the wetlands just sort of absorb it, all the trees and all. But what happens when you get out there and just cut a big ditch all the way through it, like all over South Florida, and then you cut all the trees down, you put houses all around it, and then boom, when it rains, this is what has happened. And this is so true as far as especially in Florida, especially on the coast, where developers come in and they've thought about one thing is making a buck, and they really haven't thought about the future. And that's why, with these retaining ponds we have, this is part of nature. The wetlands part of nature that the retaining ponds are sort of we try to replace. It'd been nice just to left the wetlands like they were. And it's old swampland, but it's important. And that was just a good drawing there. One more picture here. I got a couple more. Bo Rollins down there at Howard Creek. Catch and release, spirit of the wild, wild and free. River Collins caught this. Folks, that is a nice bass for the river system. That is nice. Good job, River. He's growing up. He's about grown. Look at him. Okay, I've never had one like this. This was special. Ryan Cockrell sent it to me on the Facebook Messenger. Okay, he and his wife Carla just had a baby. Okay, what does that say right there? Watching her first episode at the hospital at 14 hours old. Now, is that not a classic? Here it is right here. He took a selfie. She's watching. That's special to me right there, Carla and Ryan Cockrell. Thank you all so much for sending that. I got one more picture of her. I had them send me this too. Her name is Finley Annette Cockrell, 8 pounds, 1 ounce, 21 inches long. And there she is getting ready. She's dreaming about going fishing right now. Okay, good job. All right, one more quick announcement too. Let's see, right here. NOAA just announced commercial and recreational fishing for lane snapper is going to close now October 18th. That's about 17 days from now. They're going to be closing that. They sort of, hit and miss. But this is in federal waters of the Gulf of Mexico, October 18th. Okay, I think that takes care of a lot of information there, a lot of great pictures, a lot of local pictures y'all sent, with all local pictures you've sent in, and share with our viewing audience. So that's good stuff. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome. We're so glad you're with us this morning on a Friday morning, getting ready to do a drawing and all. And I was thinking about that little baby watching her first Panhandle Outdoor show. And I just got a kick out of it. I'm going to share this with some other people, but she's 14 hours old. That's cool. And I had a flashback to like last year. Alan Stanford passed away, and his boys in class had Alan in class years ago, and he passed away on Saturday night. But the boys told me probably the last show he watched that Saturday. He taped Panhandle Outdoors and going back to his camper to watch it. And so those little special stories like that just mean a lot to us, and we appreciate them and appreciate you sharing them with us. Also, thank you all for supporting advertisers. We got a call yesterday from someone had an ad on yesterday and got a call that afternoon from the ad. So thank you all so much. Okay, now, one of the things we always try to do, and even in my teaching career, you want to try to inspire people to do things, and inspiration a lot of times comes from true stories like we had on yesterday. Well, with Pam talking about different stories and inspiring things and all this. I've interviewed a lot of people and a lot of special interviews, but this particular interview I'm going to play for you again. This was I met him, Colonel Greg Gadsden. Met him at a Southeastern Outdoor Press Association conference, and he was a keynote speaker. And I got to listen to his talk, and he got a standing ovation at the end. And he was over in Iraq and lost both the legs in an IED explosion. And he tells the story of it, but I want you to listen. It's about a 6-minute interview, and one of the most inspirational interviews I've ever done, because it just sent chills down you when you listen to him tell the story, and yet and then afterwards how how his faith and the outdoors brought him through. And I wish I could put this on. I wish every young person could watch this story across America in school and just watch this little 5-minute interview. So. We're going to play it for you. If you get a chance to share it with anyone, tell them to go on YouTube and watch it. This is a true story of an American hero, and he tells a great story. So Jeff, let's roll this video. We're going to come back and do our drawing and do our fishing forecast after the video. All right, folks, today here with Colonel Greg Gadsden from the U.S. Army. Greg, I heard you speak today at our keynote speaker, and your story just floored us, and what an amazing testimonial you have. And I've asked you to share this with our Panhandle Outdoors viewers. So, if you would, just sort of tell us your story, okay, man?
Well, thank you, Winston, and I appreciate the opportunity to share it with you. Well, first of all, as you know, I said this afternoon, my story is really about my team. I was privileged to lead soldiers in the combat, and ultimately those soldiers saved my life. On May 7th, 2007, I was wounded after attending a memorial service, ironically, for Specialist Armando Pineda and First Lieutenant Ryan Jones. My vehicle was hit by an improvised explosive device, or IED, and the blast ejected me from the vehicle, where I came to a rolling stop on my back. I was fortunate that men like First Sergeant Frederick Johnson, the senior non-commissioned officer in my patrol, was the first to locate me, and he began to resuscitate me, and a young man, Private Eric Brown, would put the tourniquets on my legs back to the doctor, saved my life. Now, what I omitted this afternoon was that just to give you a sense of my wounds is that in the first 4 to 6 hours after I was wounded, I went through 129 units of blood. To give you a perspective of how dangerous Iraq was in May of 2007, 131 U.S. service members paid with their lives in the month of May 2007 alone. So it was a very dangerous situation. Ultimately, I was evacuated, and I got to Walter Reed Army Medical Center in Washington, D.C. on the 11th of May. And over the next 2 weeks, I would lose my legs. The doctors had to take my left leg to save my life on the 18th of May, and I made the decision for them to amputate my right leg. But what is, I think, most relevant for you in this forum is really the first time that I left Walter Reed, barely 3 months after I was wounded, was a trip to Vail, Colorado, sponsored by the Vail Veterans Program. And it was that experience of being in the outdoors that really changed my life. It fundamentally gave me an opportunity to be outside and really understand that although my life had changed, I could still do everything that I wanted to do in life. I just had to realize that I had to do it differently. And on that trip alone, I was able to ride a horse, rest in the saddle, whitewater raft with my family. I did some fly fishing, and really, what it really underscored was the capability of my capabilities. And I'm just grateful that we have an outdoors, that we have an environment where someone like me can recalibrate themselves, can come to peace with our injuries, and a safe setting and a surrounding that means you no harm.
Colonel, you mentioned today that when the blast occurred and you landed out there before you lost consciousness, you said, you asked
yes.
God. You said you asked God what?
Yes, I am here today. What I didn't start out with is that I'm here because of my Lord and Savior, and when I was landing on that ground, the last thing I said before I lost consciousness was, God, I don't want to die here in this country. That was my abbreviated prayer, and I appreciate you asking me that, Winston, because I thank God that I had a relationship with God, and then I knew to call on God at that moment, because I might not be here if I didn't.
That's awesome. And now today, you were telling me that you still enjoy outdoors. Has been your faith in outdoors has been your savior, I guess.
Yep.
And you what are some outdoor things you do now?
Well, I've been blessed. Even in the last couple of months, I've jumped out of an airplane out in Wyoming with the. Out in Wyoming, I've done some shooting. I shot a trap out of a motorcycle sidecar. I swam with, dove with some whale sharks in the Georgia aquarium. And so, again, life has its challenges, but, I just really want to take advantage of what our environment has, and the outdoors is a great part of it.
Well, that's awesome. And then today, when you gave that talk, and we had a room full of 200-something outdoor people and all, at the end of your talk, you just got a spontaneous standing ovation. And that's the appreciation we have for you. And on behalf of our viewers at Panhandle Outdoors and me and my family, we want to thank you for the service you gave America and the wonderful attitude that you have now.
Well, thank you, Winston. I appreciate the opportunity to again, share my story. I appreciate your patriotism. You guys are really the stewards and the folks that keep our conscience straight on and making sure that other generations can enjoy what we enjoy.
Well, thank you, sir.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. It's just something to give a lot of thought to, and I give a lot of appreciation to our military, and especially in situations like that. So if you get a chance to share that on YouTube and tell folks to look at it, that would be something good to do. Let's take a look at our fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're looking at 7:42 to 9:42 this morning, and this evening from 8:08 to 10:08. So that will be our times today, and what a pretty day to do some things. So let's do our drawings real quick. We'll get to our fishing report. Okay, 2 drawings for Los Angeles, and the winner of that first one is going to be all the way to Panama City Beach, Rianne Carroll, okay? And the winner of the second Los Angeles card, all the way from Fountain, Denise Cobb. And then the winner of the $20 gift certificate to Carpenter Dock Seafood. They've got some good fresh seafood, I'm telling you. All the way from the Sand Hills, Bo Jones. And the winner of the Big Red Snapper is going to be all the way from Bayou George. It's going to be Pat Allday, Fountain, Bayou George, Panama City Beach, and Sand Hills. Okay. Now, let's get to our fishing report and my notes here on it. One of the first things I wrote down, excuse me, I dropped it right here. I'm not going with it. Okay. Okay, one of the first things I wrote down is just the early mornings. I don't know if you've been getting up and going outside in early mornings, some of y'all on the way to work and all, but these early fall mornings have been just absolutely stunningly beautiful. These are great times to get outdoors and do some serious fishing early in the morning on these fall days. I'm telling you, a lot of stuff's going on, and we've got the tide. We've got this high tide in the morning. It's going out. The lakes are just teeming with fish, and it's just a good time. So I wrote down early morning, and also I wrote down natural, fishing with natural bait. Some folks enjoy doing it, and when I say natural bait, I just think about whatever's in the area, whatever the fish is going to feed on. You go back to the elements of, elementary fishing, really, the elements of it. And then what happens, I look at when I was surf fishing a whole lot, I first started out fishing with sand fleas because that's what the Pompano, surf fishing. Brim fishing, you fish with worms and crickets because that's what they're feeding on. And same way, and then artificial baits, of course, we use all kinds of different things, but when you're fishing in the bay, learn how to throw a little bait net. And so many of our wade fishermen do this and do it very successfully. And the places you wade out and fish, but before you go out, just get your little bait bucket and just throw the net and catch whatever's in the grass. I've done it before, and just whatever's in the grass. It could be all kinds of different things because that's what the fish in the high tide, they're coming up in the grass to feed on. I know a lot of y'all know that, but some of y'all may not. I just want to re-emphasize it. We've talked about it before. So you take that live bait and just drag it behind you in the water in a little floating bucket and they got fresh water out there, and it'll last several hours, especially now the water temperature is cooling down. It will last several hours. So I wrote down, fish with natural bait when you can, especially when you have guests and all. I wrote down, speaking of Pompano, and like I said earlier, we're just a couple of degrees away from them. Now, right now, next week, you're going to start seeing some stragglers, what I call stragglers or scouts, being caught probably next week. In fact, I can almost guarantee I'm going to show you a picture next week of a couple of Pompano, but the big run hasn't started yet. Also, on the fishing behind the dam of the Chattahoochee has been really good lately. Some good catches. You know where I'm talking about, the Chattahoochee Dam. I talked to some folks up there, and they're catching some nice brim, and the fishing on the upper part of the river has been really good. The lower part of the Chattahoochee, and I'm going to go to Fish Fry next week. One of the fishermen over there who's calling us to fish to feed a group of us, and we're going to have a nice little fish fry on some Chattahoochee River brim. I'm looking forward to it. So that's going to be good. Fishing, let's quickly talk about bay fishing. We talked about it some last week. And East Bay, I'm going to, again, harp on East Bay. Sandy Creek going to East Bay. You want to hit these tides. We're going to have good tides coming in. High tide in the morning, like I've said, for this third time I've said it on the show, and then going out. But East Bay, when they're going out there, out of Sandy Creek, when the bait's coming out of Sandy Creek up in this area right here, where Sandy Creek is, when the little bait fish are coming out right in the center of the screen there, you're going to start seeing there's going to be some good action there. Okay, and then all the marsh, and then the points, get away from the shipyard, and then the points right up there as it's flowing out. Bridge fishing up under the Tender Bridge, the bull reds are going to be really strong right in here as the outgoing tide. Saturday afternoon, if you don't have anything else to do, that's going to be something good to do. I'm going to run out of time. That was some of the main things. The fishing, the falling tide, fishing up in the river. The river's going to be good all throughout our river system. It's going to be a good weekend being outdoors. Be a good weekend to be outdoors, and be a good weekend to take someone with you if you have room on the boat. Anyway, we got to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for watching our show this week. Some big week next week coming up. Y'all do something good today for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.